Hi everyone, so today I want to do an analysis on two subjects today that are getting very, very interesting very quickly. So the first topic is the rise and fall of two pretty big name candidates. So that is Senator Bernie Sanders and former Texas Congressman Beto ORourke. So I have two graphs here. This one is from Wikipedia. This is just a graphical summary of everything. So, I mean, some polls have Biden out at 46%. Some have him, as low as getting into 30, 29. But pretty much what we can see, if we look at the red, that one's Joe Biden. The blue one, the orange one here is Senator Bernie Sanders. The green one is Senator Kamala Harris. The yellow one is former Texas Congressman Beto ORourke. The purplish, reddish one is Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. The blue one is Mayor Pete Buttigieg. And, and I believe that's all of the big names in this. And then as for this graph, we're going to start off looking at the RealClearPolitics average graph here for the 2020 Democratic nomination. So what we can pretty much see, Biden, this was back in 2018, Biden held a relatively strong lead over Bernie Sanders. It narrowed down in February, right? And then this is when Bernie Sanders announced. Then it really narrowed quite down to just a 6-point lead for Joe Biden. Sanders began to drop off a little bit. He came back up a little bit. And then right there, this is right before Joe Biden announced. Biden was at 29.3, Sanders at 23.0. As soon as Biden announced, boom, 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 he goes all the way up to 41.4 to 14.6 for Senator Sanders. And we can see that Joe Biden just dropped there just a little bit. That's coming from this Emerson poll that shows Biden only up 8. I've noticed that the Emerson polls normally give Joe Biden less of an edge. If we search for Emerson, there we can see, if we just highlight the Emerson polls, 33 to 25. This one actually has Sanders leading. Oh, I lost the. Where did it go? Emerson. There we go. I don't know why my Command F is not working, but Emerson actually shows Joe Biden leading, and then it also shows Sanders leading. Here it shows it as a tie, and so it's just pretty much been a consistent thing that Bernie Sanders is doing better in these Emerson polls than, from example, another poll. Oh, what's happening there? Here we go. Than in other potential polling companies. But yeah, it's very interesting to see these different polls, and I think it's very important to be looking at some of these big polling things. So, again, Joe Biden actually increasing his lead by quite a lot. Some people were saying, when Joe Biden announces and he starts talking again, he's going to plummet, whereas the opposite has been happening. He's only increasing his lead over the rest of the field. So yes, Bernie, it's still very early, but it's definitely important to be looking at these. As for this, we can see a similar trend. Joe Biden, again, this is when Sanders announced. He shot up, and then ever since then he's been on a slow receding path downward. Whereas Joe Biden, yes, he got a bit of a boost there. When he looked like he was going to run, he got a bit of a boost, and then when the allegations came forward, he went under 29, and then as soon as he announced, he shot up, and Sanders went down. Now, the other main topic, so overall takeaway, Joe Biden really increasing his lead over Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. We can see Sanders' steady downfall there to a low of 14.6 from a high of 23.0 in just April 26 to May 11. That's just about 15 days, I believe, where he's gone from 23-ish points to less than 15. But again, everything can change. Now he's at 16.3. So again, everything can change in a heartbeat, just like we saw with Joe Biden. The same could be happening to Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. So the next topic I really wanted to discuss is the massive fall of former Texas Congressman Beto ORourke. So, here's the thing with Beto. I'm gonna make a big call now. Beto ORourke is done. He will not be the Democratic nominee for president in 2020. He is done. He's toast. Done with Beto. Now, here's the thing with Beto. Coming out of the Texas race, he was at 8 points, hovering at around that 8 point, dipping a little bit when he lost his momentum going on that road trip, which made no sense. And then he announced he shot up. He was at 8 again, and then 9, and around that 8-9%. And then it was on April 18th, he was at 8.8%. Very, very good for the Beto. But then, ever since then, he has been on a steady climb downwards. So he went from 8.8 to 7.8 to 7.4, 6.3, 6.0, 5.6, 5.0, 4.6, 4.3, and then now I believe, I can't actually see it, but we can see it up here. Now he's at 4.2%. His polling has halved. That's the simple way of saying it. Beto is done. He will not be the Democratic nominee for president in 2020. I'm making that call. We can see this phenomenon again. This one I think is actually a better graph to read, since this has all of these irrelevant candidates right at the bottom. But this one only has the major candidates. So if you look at Beto ORourke, he's the yellow one. So you can see yellow. He dipped a little bit after he waited so long to announce, but then he announced. He went back up. This is in the height of his media, when the media loved him so much, and then ever since then he's kind of just been on a steady downward. And and then see, ORourke announced his candidacy on March 14. March 14, we can see that. See, look, March 14's about here-ish, so we can see ORourke shot up, and then he went on a slow receding path downward. His polling numbers have absolutely collapsed. He will not be the Democratic nominee for president. One more thing. Right now, in the latest Emerson poll, Beto ORourke, once considered a major candidate up there with Bernie and Biden, is at 3%. Furthermore, if we take a look at the latest New Hampshire poll, Beto ORourke is now polling at 2%. Beto ORourke is done. He will not be the Democratic nominee for president. Thank you.